Hello, everybody, and welcome to our high school sports caravan game of the week. Tonight, it's Ladue traveling over to Parkway Central and taking a little bit of time out of his busy Thursday afternoon is Ladue head coach Mike Tarpey. And Mike, thanks so much for spending a little bit of time with us. And great start for the Rams so far this year.
Yeah, it's been a great start. We opened up with Farmington. I hadn't played them in quite a few years, but Farmington traditionally has a good program, and our kids, we went down there and played well, and then kind of played a game that we'd like to probably play again against Jennings. Jennings got a nice team this year. They got some impressive kids on both sides of the ball. We made quite a few mistakes, put ourselves in a bad position, and thankfully our kicker, we got, I would say, probably the best kicker in the area, and Jack Fox, who's also playing quarterback for us this year, but he kicked 5 field goals, the last one with about 15 seconds left to go in the game, and so squeaked by in that one, and then the kids played. I was happy this past week. We executed a lot better against Berkeley. So.
Talk a little bit about the new conference. Typically it's you guys in Central opening the season. You've done that the last 4 years, and now you're conference foes. I mean, talk a little bit about how that is and what your thoughts are on the new conference setup in the Suburban.
I like it. I think it's good. I think the biggest thing is it's good for our community. I think, with Central and Parkway West and U City and Clayton staying in, kind of geographically, they're natural rivals for our community. And without having lights here and, some of the things that other schools have to try to create that atmosphere, being, in close proximity, playing on a Friday night. So, we've played Central over at their place, quite a bit because we, more times than not, playing in that first game, we gave up the home field because to guarantee we'd be playing at a Friday night. And we do that, some people say, why do you do that? It's the biggest reason why we do it is safety because of the heat and not having to play a game in 100-degree weather, and we can play on a Friday evening. So I look forward to playing them in week 4. They're a tough challenge, obviously. They were in the state championship game for a reason last year, and Mark does a wonderful job over there.
Let's talk about the first 3 weeks, and I just talked to Goldie about this. We've either had heat, storms, lightning, rain. Hopefully this Friday night we can get a game in on time that'll start at 7 o'clock without any issues.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx it because it's been tough. And hopefully, the forecast is great for tomorrow night. So, looking forward to it. The cooler weather, yesterday. But yeah, we got some good neighbors. We try to beg and some time up at Burroughs or over at MICDS, and those guys are great to us. Through the years, and giving us an opportunity to go up there. But it's just to practice in a facility. Obviously the lightning prevents you from going out, but when you get them on the water and where we sit and the limited amount of green space that we have, it makes it difficult to practice and get a quality practice.
Talk about the offensive side. Jack Fox, obviously at the helm at quarterback, did a fantastic job in running your offense. And once again, you run an offense that you love to just get in and go and put your foot on the gas pedal and get it revved up quick and early and often.
Yeah, he's done a wonderful job. I think, we had Matt Hooper last year, and he was an all-conference quarterback, and I think, it was unfortunate for Jack. It was just a numbers game. He was definitely capable of playing last year, didn't have to, but he stepped right in and assumed the leadership, and he's got a great demeanor. I was going into the year, one of the things I was a little nervous about is would he be able to transition from quarterback to kicking, and, the Jennings games obviously showed, he's very calm. He lets the last play go, and just, and takes the next play and does what he needs to do. So he's done that extremely well. And then his job is we got some guys. I think we believe we got some playmakers on the outside and also in the running back position. So it's trying to get the balls to those playmakers.
Talk about a few of those playmakers, and obviously a couple young men that can jump out of. If we were in a gym, I'd say jump out of the gym, but they can pretty much get up in the air to reach anything Jack throws at them.
Yeah, on the outside, Paul Flynn's kind of the security blanket. Him and Jack have a great relationship, on and off the field. So Paul's been that steady receiver for us. Our outside linebacker, Nate Howard, didn't play much offense last year for us. Nate's verbally committed to University of Wisconsin, so we're starting to use him on offense a little bit more tight end and as a wide receiver. And then we got some young guys in James Bell and Jared Smith that are guys that kind of more slot receivers, smaller size guys. And then in the backfield we have Dalen Edwards as a junior, missed part of the last season as a sophomore, but Dalen can do some things with the ball in his hands. It's pretty special. And then we got a senior, James Scott, and then we got a sophomore, and Chino Smith, and then we got another senior, Mario Whitley, who also plays middle linebacker for us. So we got some options at running back. It's it's kind of only one ball, and it's sometimes it's a task to to share it.
Trying to distribute it a little bit. Now defensively, That's been a key for you for the last couple years. Talk about some of the names we're going to hear on the defensive side.
Well, the one kid in the middle is he also plays center for us, Malcolm Davis. He was a fullback for us last year. We had to move him to offensive line. Just great kid. I mean, that's a hard sell, but for anybody. But he's done it. And plays extremely hard. Mario Whitley's also inside, and then obviously we got Nate Howard at the outside linebacker. So our linebacker core, and then the other young kid is playing really well for us. At the other side is Luke Dibbler. Luke's playing doing a great job in there. And then on the defensive line, we got Justin Moore, who's our junior, who's a big kid. It's hard to miss him. He's 6'6", 340 pounds. And then Henry Valier is a senior that's playing for us. So we feel like we don't have a great deal of numbers up front, but we feel like the kids up front are done a great job so far.
Talk a little bit about Central. You guys have had 4 games over the last 4 years that have just been knockdown dragouts. And I'm sure you're expecting the same thing. I know Goldie's expecting the same thing. What are the keys to defeat Parkway Central tomorrow night?
I think their strength is, they do what they do and they do it well. I mean, they believe in what they do, and their kids believe it. You can tell that in film. And, up front, they are strong on both sides. I mean, their front 5 on offense and their front 7 on defense are, I think the strengths of their team. It's our challenge is to stop that. I think that last few years that big run play has gotten us quite. I mean, they've had a lot of talent, but giving up that big run play, that big momentum play. I think when you give up a momentum play in the passing game, it's one thing for your kids, but when you give up the big plays in the running game, it's a little bit more demoralizing and harder to bounce back from. So I think our kids know what they are. I think they're excited to play them. It's going to be a fun night.
How do you stop Michael Slater? And it seems like Michael has been around for years. I mean, you've seen him all 4 years, and I've been covering him. I mean, he's just a tremendous talent for Goldie.
Right. Yes, definitely. Unfortunately for us, he hasn't played. He hasn't played in that first game last year. I know he didn't play. He didn't need to play because I had some other guys that could do some things. But no, he's a talented kid. I think the biggest thing in there is our kids got to be willing to go in and take what he's going to give, because both him and some of their other running backs run hard, they run downhill. So that's going to be the challenge for our guys up front. They're definitely not. No one's going to say Central's a finesse football team.
No doubt. And final question, obviously, big step up for you guys this year, moving from Class 4 to Class 5. Obviously, we talked about the conference alignment, but it seems like you guys have adjusted to that move from 4 to 5 pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, the last several years we've been playing a kind of a 4A, 5A schedule. And when I talked to our kids about when we moved up to 5A, it was kind of, we're 5A, and on their minds. And it was, I told them, I said, we wanted to be one of the better 4A programs on this side of the state, and our goal was to play Webb City. And so I think Webb City, most people would argue, would probably compete pretty well in any division. So if you're trying to get to that team, I mean, maybe that game might happen week 10 as opposed to week 13 now, because of the district. And when you look at the district, it's pretty strong from top to bottom, and there's not a weak team, in that district. So we look forward to that challenge, and obviously, you go from being one of the biggest to one of the smallest. That creates some obstacles. But the one great thing I felt like here in all my years here is, I feel like our coaching staff does a wonderful job of getting the most out of our kids, and I feel like our kids appreciate that and reciprocate that to in appreciation. And to me, that's what high school coaching is all about, is that relationship piece. And we've been fortunate to win some games over the last 8 years. But the relationship piece and seeing kids get better is what the true joy is.
Outstanding, Mike. Well, thanks so much for your time. Good luck. It's going to be a great night tomorrow night.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time.
Mike Tarpey joins us here as we get you ready for football on a Friday night. It's going to be Ladue traveling over to Parkway Central. You'll have all the action on www.misha.tv. Thanks so much for stopping by. HighSchoolSportsCaravan.com. Have a great week, everybody.